The terrible story of a disappeared Hungarian climber on Everest in 2023. In the unforgiving realm of Mount Everest, where dreams are made and lives are lost, a Hungarian climber embarks on a fateful expedition that will test the limits of human endurance. But as the world watches in horror, this brave adventurer mysteriously vanishes, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and a shroud of perplexity. Prepare to be captivated by the riveting account of a disappeared soul and the haunting secrets hidden within the icy crevices of the world's tallest peak. It is no secret that this year on Everest will go down as one of the deadliest in our history. By July 2022, over the course of almost 70 years, 310 mountaineers had already lost their lives on the tallest peak in the world, an average of 4.4 casualties per year. With 17 dead climbers in 2023 alone, the numbers have significantly increased. Some blame the dangers on global warming, pointing to the glaciers that have lost 2,000 years of ice in just the past 30 years. Others attribute the chaos on Everest to the increase in foot traffic. While this peak is a dream for many mountaineers, it is not without significant risks and challenges. Beneath the majestic glory of Mount Everest lies a tale of darkness and despair. In the year 2023, a Hungarian climber sets foot on the treacherous slopes, determined to conquer the mountain that has claimed countless lives. Little does he know that he will become a part of Everest's tragic lore, disappearing into the unknown and leaving behind an unsolved riddle. Brace yourself for the bone-chilling account of a vanished hero as we journey into the heart of the world's most notorious summit. Today, we delve into the story of Szilárd Suhajda, a Hungarian climber who took on the ultimate challenge of trying to conquer Everest solo, but not before facing the dangers of the tallest mountain in the world. There have been concerns that the increased human activity at Everest Base Camp, located on the Khumbu Glacier, is making it unstable and unsafe. To cater to the demands of over 400 climbers annually, about 1,500 people come to base camp during the season, where luxury facilities include massages and evening entertainment. Everest's glaciers have lost 2,000 years of ice in just the past 30 years, a fact that has not gone unnoticed by experts or the local community. Looking at the risk of keeping Everest Base Camp on the Khumbu Glacier, there were talks of moving it to a safer location lower down the mountain. However, many Sherpas voiced their disapproval, as it would add 3 hours to the climb and increase the technical difficulty. It's a no-win situation, as moving the camp may delay the melting of the glacier but increase the risk every climber must take. Not moving the base camp will continue to harm the mountain. In 2023, a record-breaking 479 permits were granted, with reports of lines on Everest being up to 12 hours long in some cases. The government of Nepal is capitalizing on this demand. Despite the risks and public backlash, the minimum payment for a permit is around $15,000. But Everest has become more of a tourist destination, with thrill seekers willing to pay upwards of $60,000 just to be guided to the summit. The fault lies in multiple areas, including companies that accept payment from inexperienced climbers. These companies require no climbing experience, claiming they will teach everything needed. However, the reality is that if a client gets in trouble at high altitude, they can and will be abandoned to save the lives of others. Crossing into the death zone, there is typically no way to help a struggling climber, even if a guide wanted to. Szilárd Suhajda is not exactly what you would call a beginner climber. Originally from Székesfehérvár, Hungary, he started his climbing journey as a backpacker who enjoyed long hikes. His passion led him to hike along the Carpathians, Transylvania, and the European Alps. Suhajda developed an interest in the alpine style of climbing, which is considered the most basic but pure form of mountaineering. An alpine climber does not use supplemental oxygen, nor do they carry large amounts of supplies. Typically, they climb alone or in pairs, moving as fast as possible. This style attracts technically skilled and mentally tough individuals. Suhajda's love for mountaineering grew to an obsession after summiting Mont Blanc in 2014. In 2019, Suhajda undertook his most difficult challenge yet, summiting K2, the Savage Mountain. He became the first Hungarian to reach the peak. In May 2022, he conquered Lhotse completely solo. Turning 40 in 2023, Suhajda set his sights on Everest, the next mountain on his list. After years of planning and gathering the required documents, Suhajda was finally ready. Equipped with his permit, he set off from base camp on May 21, 2023, climbing alone. With only the gear on his back and a radio with a GPS beacon, he embarked on his journey. The weather was perfect, a promising sign for a successful summit. Suhajda carefully climbed for 3 days, making acclimatization trips to get his body accustomed to the high-altitude conditions and setting up camps for his summit push. Acclimatization climbs allow climbers to adapt to the lack of oxygen at higher altitudes. Above 8,000 meters or 26,000 feet, the death zone begins, where long-term life is unsustainable without supplemental oxygen. On May 24th, Suhajda was ready for his summit push. The weather was ideal, and he began his journey early in the morning. Despite deteriorating physical and mental conditions caused by the lack of oxygen, Suhajda pressed on. He encountered other climbers on their way down, but he seemed determined to reach the summit. Unfortunately, Suhajda's energy levels were dwindling rapidly, and his physical state deteriorated as he reached the balcony on Everest. Ben Ferrer, a member of the 7 Summits climb team, encountered Suhajda and noticed his fatigue. Assuming that Suhajda was asking for the altitude to inform his team of his turning point, Ben unknowingly left him to continue his climb. Hours later, another mountaineer, Elias Sakali, passed by Suhajda. He attempted to engage him in conversation, but received no response. Concerned, Elias continued his descent and realized that Suhajda did not have a backpack, indicating a lack of supplies if he got stuck on the mountain. As days passed, contact with Suhajda was lost. Chinese climbers who reached the summit discovered him off the well-beaten route, suffering from frostbite and high-altitude sickness. Unfortunately, they were unable to assist due to their own struggles. Subsequent search efforts failed to locate Suhajda, and he was pronounced dead, his body never found. Hungarian climber Szilárd Suhajda vanished without a trace on Mount Everest. He left Camp 4 on his own 2 days ago, and none of the members of the expedition team has seen him ever since. A rescue operation would be launched in the early hour to bring the climber to safety. The backup team agreed with the Nepalese agency providing the climber's base camp support to attempt a helicopter flight to an altitude where Szilárd Suhajda could be seen. At the same time, 3 Sherpas have been sent to pick up the climber. They could optimally reach him in the late hours of today, as the stranded climber continues to fight for his life. This story sheds light on the troubling issues surrounding Everest, including record-breaking permits, environmental degradation, and inexperienced climbers. Szilárd Suhajda's tragic tale serves as a reminder of the dangers associated with such an unforgiving mountain. Everest has undoubtedly changed, and those who attempt to conquer it face numerous challenges and risks. As we reflect on Suhajda's story, it becomes clear that Everest's allure and mystique have been tarnished by commercialization and an influx of climbers. The tragedy of a disappeared Hungarian climber serves as a cautionary tale, emphasizing the need for responsible mountaineering and the preservation of the world's most formidable peaks. As we conclude this tragic tale of the disappeared Hungarian climber on Everest, we are reminded of the unforgiving power of nature and the indomitable spirit of those who dare to challenge it. The mountain stands as a testament to both the beauty and the peril that await those who venture into its icy realm. Though the fate of the courageous climber remains a haunting mystery, their spirit will forever echo in the hearts of all who hear their story. Let us honor their memory by cherishing the fragile gift of life and embracing the relentless pursuit of adventure, always mindful of the profound lessons that lie within the shadows of Everest.